what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of Your Show. I am not your host, Gary Nickel, but I am your host for the first bit of today. Maggie decided she was going to get herself a spa day, and she is not back yet, and so that means Gary is not back yet. I don't know what we pay Maggie for if not to be on camera, but anyway, Gary is not here, and I think I just heard him walk in.
Look at this girl.
Oh, there she is. Oh, she looks so pretty. Well, I will give you back to your host Gary here as soon as he is. As soon as. All right, here we go.
You did great, buddy.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, you got the show started. Ho! Woo! Look at that. Hey, you got my seat warm. Very well done. Maggie, come show everyone how pretty you are. Did she lose a... She has barrettes in today. Perfect. Marge, get up here. Hey, you go out there once we're done. Do I even have to say hello? Did you already introduce everyone? No? Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of... Of course she did. Margaret, right on the floor? All right, get up here. Let's go. Come here. Come on. Oh, she's got more. Oh, no, poor girl. We're going to have to do a big-time cleanup here. Oh, that was so bad. Hey, come on up. Come up here. Please. Please, Margaret. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Your Show. My name is Gary. I am your host, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Still, as far as we know, the only show going live on YouTube from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. And today is a great example of that. We have a Marge with a sore tummy. Hey, come here, babe. We got to get your Maggie Cam, and you did so good. Come on up. There you go. Let's show the people how nice you are. Hey, you got room after a little pukey puke? Oh, puppies, hey? Yeah, you're so pretty. So proud to be going live. This is probably the most livest we've ever lived, as we are originating in Saskatoon, and it's so special to have something that you can go to every single day, like scheduled viewing, and we're so happy and proud of that. We are also so happy and proud of this beautiful puppy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Maggie Cam. Can we get your head turned? We got to show the braids, girl. So I just picked her up from Head to Tail Spa in Sutherland. The team there, so incredible at what they do. And they got her all trimmed up and all looking pretty, although you can only see her back. We'll see if she turns around here right away. She's got barrettes in here, and they look so unbelievably cute. When you need anything else besides dog grooming, head on over to Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. That's where Marge always goes. And we're so proud to have them as a member of this amazing team with the Maggie Cam. Look at her go. As when you walk in those doors, her boyfriend, Leroy, also works at Pet Planet on 8th Street, just like Maggie works here. He walks up to the till, you say hi to Mike and or Rochelle, and then from there, your day keeps getting better, all right? We're talking all the latest fashions, including the buckle-up collars and leashes matching. They also have all the toys and treats and the raw food in the back fridges, which is amazing, and that's right beside the cleaning station, as you will need to go get a cleaning done. Let me promise you that, is it's real muddy and dirty out there. Pet Planet on 8th Street has the best cleaning station on earth. Check it out. Say hello and let everybody know that, yeah, we all love Pet Planet on 8th Street. So thank you again to the team there. Open after hours and on weekends, thanks to Kirsten, Shara, Chris. Can you see those little boys? Barrettes? Look at her. Oh, they're so cute. All right, as we go into cleanup mode, we have a really big show today. A lot of people stopping by. We got Hockey Helps the Homeless going on tomorrow. So I figured we'd run a bunch of our Hockey Helps the Homeless interviews for you throughout today. We'll also check in with Mr. Thursday himself, the great Matt Young from CTV. And we got a little three-hall interview to get to. Before any of that, we're going to kick things off with a previously recorded segment for our friends at Hockey Helps the Homeless. Take it away, LB.
All right, well, welcome back to another Hockey Helps the Homeless podcast. I'm here with Gary with the Dufferin Ave Media Group.
Sir.
And we got a special guest, Matthew Barnaby. He's a 14-year NHL player, and he's played 834 games. So thanks for coming on here, Matthew.
Thanks. Hey, I'm glad we were able to figure this out. My CTE might be kicking in from the years. I can't tell time zones apart. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I was telling you before, I don't got any CTE that I know of, and I'm screwing them up too. So we're all in the same boat, brother. Time zones suck.
All good. All good.
So you've been a past supporter. Now it's been you came to our inaugural year, and now you're coming back for the 4th year in a row. What kind of drives you to want to do these charity events? I'm sure that you got lots of other things that are happening in your life, right? So
Yeah, you know what? You're very fortunate to be able to play 14 years and to be able to make a difference and showing up, just to be a small part of raising money for such a great cause. And I think, anytime you get to go to Western Canada and see the passion for hockey and be able to be, like I said, a small part of that cog in the wheel, per se, to raise money for a great cause, it's awesome. We have a great time and get to drink beer, you get to raise money and meet a lot of new people. It's pretty awesome.
you definitely have a good time. There's no doubt about that, Matthew. For anybody that is like playing in the tournament, if you're looking for a pro to play with, is that I know Matthew will probably go out with maybe for a couple cocktails with you after the event.
Yeah, curfews. That's the best thing about being retired is it doesn't matter how bad you play. It's about how much fun you have. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be in for curfew in Saskatoon when I'm there next month.
Right on. So with things like hockey helps the homeless and these chances you get to interact not just with like people that you're supporting, but fans as well, and getting out on the ice. I always like to ask the pros, how hard is it to contain that fire inside when you're out there playing with jabronis like us, guys that can't catch a pass, guys that'll be falling over? You know, you have that switch. We always talk about the switch with pro athletes. How hard is it to turn that off and just have a good laugh when the guy falls on his ass?
You know what? It's not hard at all. I think when the game, you don't want to be that guy that goes and tries to score 3-4 goals a game. And listen, we had our time, and now it's about trying to make people around you better and try to set them up. I tried literally not to have a shot on goal unless we're behind and the team's like, hey, let's get one back and get it close, right? You want games to be close for everyone. It's not going to do anything for me that I beat a carpenter that's a goalie or a lawyer or whatever it may be, after playing in the NHL for so many years. And you try to do some jokes, you try to have some fun with it, but you try to set those guys up. And I always make a joke in the second or third period. I'll tape my skates up full of white tape, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you guys don't pass on the tape anyways, so I usually all the passes are in my skates, so might as well protect my feet a little bit. But it all comes down to having fun, but it's not hard to shut it off at all. But once the game's close to the end, then you're like, okay, let's try a bit and try to get the win, because it's always nicer to win than have the loss.
See, and that's sort of a double-edged sword too, because for every time that you lay off, there's always, like you say, that carpenter who wants to make a statement, who wants to put it between your legs and then go to work, like say, hey, by the way, I was just taking it to these pros. So you got to be careful that guys don't tarnish your name like that either, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. There, you're going to go at a certain speed that isn't at the highest level, but you're also going to be cognizant that there are some guys that are still pretty good out there. Like, not everyone's a terrible hockey player. A lot of these guys played junior at whatever level, even though it was years ago. So, you don't want to embarrass your name or, I never want to be that guy that's the NHL guy that can't play anymore. You still want to show that you have some skill and you were in the league for a reason. So
there's pride there, right? There
is pride. Everyone's prideful. You're not going to go out there and not try, but at the same time, I'm not back checking. If I'm not getting a paycheck from an NHL team, there's no way in hell that I am back checking.
Yeah, that's the rec hockey mentality. I spent my whole career, whenever they ask me, okay, what side do you want to play on? I say, whichever one's closer to the bench. And I go 30 seconds, and I never come back past the red line. That's rec hockey to me.
I'm a rover. They say, you want to play left wing, right wing? I go, I don't stop anymore. I don't sharpen my skates. If I stop, it's because I ran into someone. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. So you played with Buffalo. I mean, with Brad, we asked Brad May the same question, and we were saying, how was it to play with each other in Buffalo?
It was awesome. Having Razor, we just went in for Razor's induction into the Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame. And I think if you look at my points over the years on different teams, Buffalo first and foremost, I had some of my best years there, 19 goals and 43 points. We had great teams, but I wouldn't have been able to play as offensive for me and have some of the best years of my career without a guy like Brad and Rob by my side because, I played at 192 pounds. Those guys were a little bigger. They fought like the toughest guy on the other team, the second toughest. Not that I didn't want to or was afraid of them, of those guys, but those guys were willing to do the job and let me play my game to further enhance our team's chances at winning. So very fortunate to play with those guys. Two tough hombres, man. Brad May's a scary guy. He throws bombs. Rob's the exact same way. You look at his fights with Ty Domi and Brad's with pretty well anyone in the league. But two great human beings. And Brad, I consider just a close friend, a great family man. Loves doing events like Hockey Helps the Homeless. And he's so great with fans, with his time, and just how nice a guy he is. And it's almost like he's so nice, you think he's fake, but that's just how nice Brad May really is.
For sure. No, I get that. I completely understand that. And like you're talking about, it's the support that was able to maybe enhance some of your better years in the NHL as well too. That's exactly what we're doing here in Saskatoon, to be able to add the support for our beneficiaries. Is it this year we are doing the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center once again, the YWCA and the Friendship Inn, and I think that word support just gets sometimes lost a little bit, and that's the whole reason why we're doing these events, to try to bring people together through hockey, have that fun time, and you guys being able to share your stories, be the humans that you are with, like you're saying about Matthew, like about yourself and Brad. It goes a long way. So thank you for being a part of that.
And further to you guys in the work that you guys do, and everyone that the volunteers behind the scenes that no one gets to know about, right? You see the end product, and you're like, it's like being a great hockey player like Sidney Crosby. Everyone sees the end product, but no one sees the work that goes behind the scenes. And we're in tough economic times in Canada right now. Things are expensive, and a lot of people are struggling out there. So for what you guys do, everyone that's a part of the tournament, the fundraising that goes along with it, it's a first-class event, and I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Well, thanks. We're honored to have you back. We keep on inviting you back, so it's obviously been a great time. Thanks again for the support. It goes a long way, and for us to be able to even get you onto the podcast, hearing a little bit about your story, I think will go a long way. And it's without everybody coming together and doing their small act, is that we wouldn't be able to do this and put this together. So.
Yeah, it really is. It takes an army of people to be able to raise money and keep tournaments going on year after year. You do it for 1 year, it's getting the support and all the volunteers, everyone that raises money, anyone that chips in anywhere along the line. It takes an army to put on an event like this. And like I said, I'm looking forward to getting there. Hopefully it's not minus 49 like it is today when I get out there, but looking forward to it. I'm sure we can find a way to alleviate some of the cold. I have a good idea on how to do that.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Hell yeah. Right on.
Well, thanks again, Matthew. It's always a pleasure seeing you, and for the support and obviously bringing light to some of the insecurities in the community and that kind of stuff. I know everything that we can do to give back to the beneficiaries is certainly going to the right places, right? So,
well, cheers, boys. Thanks for having me on, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah,
right
sounds
on,
good.
Brother. Thanks again.
Thanks, Matt.
Really appreciate it. There you go. Tomorrow, Merlis Belcher is the place. Matthew Barnaby in the house, and many, many more, as we got a couple more of our Hockey Helps the Homeless interviews to get to. I do want to say very, very, very special thank you to my mother and father, Gary and Wendy, making a big, big donation to our One Small Step team. Thank you very much, Mom and Dad. As well, my sister Stace just let me know. Her and her beautiful family making a donation as well to Hockey Helps the Homeless. Again, tomorrow, the big day, 9 a.m. is when our One Small Step team has our first game, then 12:15, and then 3 o'clock. And then right after that 3 o'clock, we're running back here tomorrow to do our Friday show. So it's going to be a lot of fun all day tomorrow, as we will be raising money that stays in the city, goes to the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center, as well as the Friendship Inn, and our friends at the YWCA. So thank you again to Matthew Barnaby for giving us a couple minutes and talking about the importance of these events. The description will have a donation link for you if you would like to help out with all of that. As we continue here on the big Thursday edition of your show, we have a tradition down around here. Every single Thursday, except for last week. This guy comes in here. I call him like the human monster energy drink or whatever else you can take to really fire you up. When this guy gets in the house, everyone gets amped up. And here is more proof of that. Take it away, LB. Thursdays are so lonely around here when we don't have this man.
Not anymore because I'm back.
He's back, baby. CTV's Matt Young in the house.
That's right. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother.
Good.
We missed you around here. I know you got
Yeah.
real busy, and there's so much going on.
Yeah, last week was a bit of a crazy week, so I wasn't able to make it, and I was disappointed about that. I was actually gearing up for another demonstration. It would have involved using the top-down cam today, but there was a thing I needed to get that I couldn't quite get my hands on it this week, so we're going to try and do that next week.
Love it.
But I've been missing you and your show. Things are going okay?
Things are always good around
And
here,
it's
brother.
starting to get warmer outside. There's a little less snow out there, right?
Oh yeah. Man,
So
it's the happy times again.
happy times
We're
are
back to the happy times.
That's right. Finally, the dead of winter is over, and now we can start hopefully looking towards some April showers, which brings the May flowers,
Hell
and then
yeah.
by June you're on the beach, right? Who doesn't love that?
Get me to that beach, baby.
I love it. Well,
So what do we got going on today?
well, we love talking about Saskatoon stuff, and we love
we do.
talking about video games, and we like to talk about modding video games and learning about video games and kind of the latest in what's going on in video game news. And lately, I remember you said, you know what, I love it when you bring up video game anniversaries.
Yes, so much.
We thought we'd say a little happy birthday to some big video games that you might remember, and some interesting trivia about them that you might not know about. So
We love it.
Let's cut right to it. Now, did you have a Sega Genesis growing up?
I did not.
I did.
We just got one in the Twitch stream studio too.
You did really?
Yeah, we just got
Okay,
one.
wow. So I just got to bring up the information here. And did we cut out again?
I like that.
There we go.
I like
You got
that.
to remember the one with the red
Red.
ends. The red ends.
Here we go.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Whew, sweating from all that
a
running around.
long time ago, way back on March 18th in 1994,
Oh boy.
Castlevania Bloodlines
Bloodlines. Okay.
was released
On the
for the Sega Genesis. Okay.
If
now
you would have
this is-
asked me, I would have never thought there was a Castlevania on Sega.
You know what? And what's interesting is Castlevania, which is, and we're seeing some footage of it right here. This game was released, but what's interesting about it is called Castlevania Bloodlines. Now, in Europe at the time, they had some censorship standards around video games. So they had to have all the blood removed. And they even went as far to retitle the game in Europe Castlevania The New Generation.
I was gonna say that you
But
can't
in
have
North
blood in the
America,
name. Yeah.
It was in Japan. It was called Castlevania Bloodlines. So this is Castlevania Bloodlines. A lot of people might not remember it. It was kind of a niche game, but it was released, and it was really fun to play. I'm gonna fast forward here.
There we go.
There's the title screen for it.
That's so badass.
This
dude.
is Castlevania Bloodlines,
I
and
had no
and it is
idea.
a lot of people don't know that
Yeah.
this game exists.
It's crazy.
Right? And you can go through your options. You can pick your character, that sort of thing, right?
Hold on. Where's the Belmonts? No Belmonts in there? No Simon Belmont or Trevor Belmont?
I guess not.
Interesting. Must
I
be a
don't
whole
know.
different story.
It is a
Yeah.
bit of a different storyline. So here's sort of stage one. This is the stage one level, and you can see the gameplay there.
I'm really excited to see the gameplay.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat if you
So
watch it.
cool.
It's pretty neat if you watch it. And there you go.
Oh yes.
Right?
Look at this.
And it is fun.
It's-
This game is addicting.
This is
It's
Castlevania,
really-
man.
Castlevania Bloodlines came out in 1994.
Wow.
March 18th, 1994, a classic game for the Sega Genesis. And this game is real fun to play. And if you can't obviously find an original cartridge, you can obviously get an emulator
Yeah.
and that sort of thing and play it that way. But
Now-
there you have it.
This reminds me a lot of Super Castlevania.
That's
for
right.
the Super Nintendo.
That's
so this
right.
is sort of
That's
like
right.
Sega's version of that.
It appears to be that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sega's version of that.
That's so cool, man.
It's really neat. And now, the next game we're going to look at, and I got some YouTube clips of all these games.
I love this.
Is
So prepared.
Back
See?
on
Best in
March
the biz.
23rd, the same year, 1994, released only in the arcade,
Here we
was,
go. Here we go.
and you're going to see it right here, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Happy birthday to Super Street
Come
Fighter
on.
2 Turbo, which came out in the arcade in March of 1994, and it was only in the arcade. It was not for Super Nintendo. You get Super Street Fighter 2,
Yeah, but not this one.
not the Turbo one.
See, and boy, oh boy, you want to talk about quality? Like,
Oh, yeah.
The cabinet, like, non-released on any console game.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to play.
Oh, it was great. And now eventually it would come out, I think, on Neo Geo.
There you go.
But
It would
but
never
yeah,
be
this
as good as the cabinet.
And you know what? So many quarters.
Oh, yeah.
Like I could probably buy a house with
Yeah.
the amount of money I spent playing on this. I was in a hotel once with a bunch of guys when we were young, and we must have spent 3 hours. I remember
yeah.
Mom gave me like $10. We came back. Where's your $10? Oh, we played it on this video.
Yeah.
That's all you did with yes, Mom. That's all we did.
That's it.
We turned
And-
it all to quarters and played in the game.
And had a hell of a good time.
Oh man,
So
we had a
much
great
fun.
time. I will
Like-
never ever forget playing that. It was such a good game.
I lose all the time in fighting games. I'm horrible at fighting games,
Yeah.
but that's the one that I can play on a
You got
cabinet and
good
still
at
have
it?
fun. I didn't get good, but I had fun.
But you had fun, and
That
that's
was the
and
difference,
that's the thing. You know what? Like I mean, you think about this game, you think about like Fighter's Destiny, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All
and then you
those-
think about Mortal Kombat and games
Yeah,
like that.
Killer Instinct.
Killer
There's
Instinct.
a whole
There
bunch
you
of
go.
them,
Yeah, all those were really, really good. I started to get into the Tekken series.
Oh,
Remember the
I
Tekken?
love Tekken, yes.
Tekken is
Tekken,
awesome, by the
so
way.
sweet.
Tekken was, especially Tekken 3, that for the PlayStation they had it for. Those were great games. So
Yeah.
there you go. That's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Happy birthday
Happy
to Super-
birthday!
I wish we could make it like a little birthday cake.
That'd
or
be
something.
nice.
Next time I'll bring one.
Then we can eat it.
But there you
in
have
honor
it. Now,
of the
now,
game. Yeah.
well, we got another quick birthday we want to celebrate in the video game world because
Oh, this is so fun.
on this day, on this week, I should double check, but I think it was actually on this very day, March 24th. So we're a few days ahead. In 2005, 20 years ago, the PlayStation Portable was released by Sony PlayStation. This was the first foray into Sony's sort of portable gaming market. And it was okay. So a lot of great games for it. But this was the PlayStation
Look at
Portable. It came out.
Oh, I love
and
those
it
so
used,
much.
and I have the games here. It used kind of it wasn't like a CD format, but just hang on one second. It used kind of a weird.
Yeah, the little guys that like a little tiny cart that
There,
plugs in the
yeah,
back.
Yeah. I have one right here. Just hang
Ooh.
on. It used something like this.
Look at that.
Right? And it's like a little mini CD,
CD
that's
and-
encased in a little cartridge. And what you would do is you would open up the back just like this. You'd put the game in just like that. Close it up, and then you could play. Right. So this was a PlayStation Portable. Now you have a Game Boy right there. Why don't you let's compare the size. Okay. That's the game, by the way. It's called Patapon 2. I don't even know what it is. I just found it.
It's a game.
It's a game.
That's it.
But so this is the Game Boy from Nintendo way back in the 80s. This is a PlayStation Portable. Gives you an
Little
idea,
bit of a
just
difference,
a little bit of a little bit of a comparison on the size there. It was 720p, I believe, at the time,
Which is crazy.
which is like crazy. Now this is like a Game Boy's about 10p if you look at it now. So
Yeah.
I mean, everything gets better with time.
That's right.
But so happy birthday to the PlayStation Portable, and there were like accessories you could get, like
So
you could
many
get,
accessories.
like cases and stuff like that. Now a lot of people liked them. Some people found they were a little impractical. I thought a PlayStation Portable was actually pretty good.
I loved
enjoyed it because I fly a lot.
That's it.
And so when you're on an airplane, you want to be able to sit there and do something. So
I
PlayStation
went-
Portable right here.
I took a trip to Vegas for a stag with the boys, and I borrowed my buddy's PSP.
Yes. Did you give it back?
So MLB baseball was on it.
Okay.
So fun. Like the baseball game for that system is incredible. And I put it in my bag, and I had it in my bag for the whole trip. And then I got home. Well, I got on the plane, opened the bag, pulled it out to go play it. Huge crack right across the screen.
Oh, and and then you had to go tell your buddy, sorry, something happened.
Thank you so much for allowing me to borrow your
Damage
incredible
in
PSP.
transportation.
That's
Oh
what I
my
said.
God.
I blame the airports. Like the airport people did it, man. Like, I know I didn't do that.
Well,
I
there
was
you
so
go.
upset.
Wow,
But yeah,
that's
sorry
crazy.
to Endo. Still, I still feel so bad. But
well, you know
those
what,
things are so fun.
Oh, they are. They're super, super fun.
Yeah.
And of course, that came after, like, you had Nintendo that started it with the Game Boy, and then they moved into eventually the Game Boy Advance, and this was PSP. Now you have, obviously, these handhelds have like controllers on the end of them, and they're all 1080p and stuff like that.
It's pretty crazy.
And the Nintendo Switch, of course, it's a handheld that can plug into a docking station, and you can play it on your
Take
TV.
it anywhere, yeah.
So obviously the handheld gaming market has changed, but this is what, for those of you who don't remember, if you're 24 or under, you probably don't remember the PSP.
Yeah.
PlayStation Portable. Here it is right here. This is what it
Beautiful.
looked like.
All its glory.
Right? In all its glory. And now you can probably buy these things for like $40.
Dude.
But still worth it if you ask me, because I love playing and all kinds of good games. Obviously, you get a lot of good PlayStation games and stuff like that. You know, you got Tomb Raider and things like that there. So that's always great. But yeah, so happy birthday to the PlayStation Portable, 20 years old. And you know what? It's a lot cheaper than it was when it first came out. I remember they were expensive. I can't remember the exact price. They did cost a few coins back when they first came out, but you know what? You can get one now for probably pretty cheap. And I say, why not? For, a few dollars when you're flying on an airplane, they're great.
Happy birthday, PSP.
Happy birthday to the PSP. Happy birthday to Castlevania Bloodlines. Happy birthday to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yes.
And I love doing this. This is cool. You can
So
learn
fun.
a little bit about some
So
games
fun.
that you maybe never knew about. It's
the best.
And so that's great. So we'll continue to do this here on the Gary Nichols Show and talk about other video game stuff too.
One more for you.
Yes.
Are you still riding high from the big victory for the Huskies?
Oh, man. I thought you would ask about that. Yeah. So
Mike's all yours. Tell us all
you know
about
what?
it.
So they won the Canada West Conference, the men's hockey team, that is the toughest conference I think to get out of.
Yep.
The men's hockey team is now in Ottawa. They actually start tonight at the U Sports
I
Nationals.
saw they were skating around,
That's right.
doing some practicing
Yep.
at the place Senators
TD
play.
Place.
Yeah,
That's right.
Super
So they're and they're playing tonight. I think they have a legitimate shot to win the national title.
What are they?
It's
Ranked number 2
They
coming
were,
in?
they were ranked number 2 in the country heading into the Canada West playoffs.
Should be number 1.
They've got the 2 seed right now at the U Sports Nationals tournament. And I saw them practicing the other day, and they're a confident bunch. And I think Roddy Ross and company and Chance Patrick and Rhett Reinhardt, couple of former Blades, Josh Pillar, Trevor Wong.
Yeah.
You know what? They've got a young kid, Chase Bertholet, who's joined the team midseason.
Nice.
He is fantastic, played in the ECHL, a fantastic young man. I had a chance to chat with him. I think the Huskies are going to do it. They haven't won a national title since the 80s.
Yeah.
They've gotten there lots of times.
I
They're
remember,
always a
man.
good
I
team.
remember being in the newsroom. They were in the final. It was an overtime, and it was like the national final. And they lost.
I remember, and I can't remember who it was.
I don't
too,
either, but I
think
remember
it was like
watching
a
it on my
3-2
screen
game.
in between
Yep.
newscasts, and I
Yep.
was just heartbroken.
And you know what? College hockey in Canada is so competitive. It's like monstrously competitive. They would absolutely beat the pants off NCAA D1 teams without even batting an eye. So keep an eye on that. U Sports Nationals. And yours truly won't be calling those games because they're at Ottawa. I looked into it. It would not. I actually looked. There was a chance, but it just with my
amazing.
schedule and their
Yeah.
schedule and the way they were doing things, it just wasn't going to work out. But you can watch them live. They're going on YouTube. And follow usports.ca. Follow Matt Young CTV. I'll be posting about him as well. And let's go Huskies.
Huskies.
Let's bring home a national title. And so those fans have a nice big banner to hang the fall of next year when they come back to Merlis Belcher.
Women's basketball.
Yes, we can't forget about our women's basketball team.
Speaking of bringing home titles.
Speaking of bringing home titles, they brought one home. Lisa
Hell yeah.
Tomaitis and company, which is basketball royalty here in Saskatoon.
Mm-hmm.
The Huskies women's basketball team, they come home with a national title. They're always good. Again, not always easy for them either. But they played a pretty good squad of players in the Carleton Ravens. So Huskies basketball, they're national champions too. So good job for the U of S. They've had some good teams.
Hell of
Let's
a
hope
year.
the men's hockey team can bring it home. And then the Saskatchewan Rush, by the way, they're still looking good. And the Saskatoon Blades took first place, at least for now, in that East Division. By the way, The Blades are looking at 8,000 for that game on Friday
saw you post
against
that.
Prince Albert.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I'll keep posting the ticket maps. But
So cool.
Saskatoon Center, it looks like, is going to be packed. So get your tickets for that. So, hey, Hilltop's schedule came out. They start the season on April, or I think it's August the 10th. August the 10th, and the first
Sounds
home
right,
game
yeah.
is August 17th. So Hilltop schedule's coming out now a little early, but we'll start talking them when they get rolling. But yeah, a great job for the Huskies, Go Men's Hockey, and then the Rush and the Blades. They're looking good too.
Dude. CTV's Matt Young.
I love it.
This is why we missed you, man. We're all
That's
caught
right.
up and we're
We're
ready
all
to
here.
roll into this
You got her.
big Thursday and big Friday in the weekend.
There you go. Exactly. I'm excited. I'm pumped up, and we'll be back again next Thursday as well.
Best in the biz, buddy. CTV's Matt Young. Thank you so much, brother.
No
We always
problem,
appreciate
sir.
it. Until next
100%.
Thursday. There you go. The great Matt Young from CTV. I'm really loving those birthdays for video games. That's a really fun little gimmick we got started on there, and always enjoying that. So just a little bit of fun like we always love to have with our good buddy there. And then we got all the local sports talk as well. It's absolutely fantastic. This is the Thursday edition of your show. Welcome into it still. The only show, as far as we know, originating from Saskatoon, going live 4 to 5 p.m. all over the world, just like the scheduled viewing we grew up and love. I do want to give a shout out to, again, the team over at Head to Tail Spa over in Sutherland. They did a lovely job on Margaret today. They had one of the trainees in there from, I think it was from Holy Cross, that was working with one of the expert groomers they have over there. And they put some pink little barrettes in her, and she looks so good. So thank you again to our friends over at Head to Tail. Also, speaking of our friends, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about my good buddy, Mobley Llorente. You saw him on the banner down below there. Why work with Mobley this spring? If you're looking to buy a home, he's got your back. All right, remember that. Mobley Llorente with TMG, the mortgage group, works with multiple lenders to find the best financing options, even if you're self-employed, have non-traditional income, or face credit challenges. His services are completely free, and he's here for you from pre-approval to closing and beyond. It's a really good read. Whether you need refinancing, a mortgage renewal, or just expert advice down the road, he will always be here to help. That's Mobley Llorente, mortgages made simple. Hit him up at 306-370-5804. You can call or text that number. So again, a big thank you to him as we continue with, this is what I'm talking about. We got so much going on here. You see the Bamford Co podcast down below. They were in here on Tuesday, and I still haven't got their videos for the next month. I just saw an email for that while I was looking for my live reads. As it's been a very busy week, and that is because of our Hockey Helps the Homeless campaign, which will, I guess, come to an end tomorrow with the big day full of hockey over at Merlis Belcher. Links are in the descriptions. If you want to make a donation to Hockey Helps the Homeless, the money raised here stays here, and it goes to the YWCA, the Friendship Inn, and the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. It's a really good way to get that karma up. And along those lines, we have another interview that my good buddy Ryan Bamford and I did for our Hockey Helps the Homeless team. And this is another great one right here. Let's take it away there, LB.
All right, we are back with another Hockey Helps the Homeless podcast. Today I'm here with Gary from Dufferin Ave Media Group.
Hello.
And also Brian Screwlin, past NHL champion, got a couple Stanley Cups, former Blade.
Hell yeah.
Definitely a prairie boy that's grown up. And we want to thank you for coming on here, Brian. We're looking forward to talking a little bit with you.
Well, thanks for having me, but this is too good. I got Brad May popped up on the third party on my phone here.
Oh, nice.
I love it.
Yeah, he's
Brad-
going to be popping in right away.
That's right. I see what you're saying now. He's in the queue.
He's in the queue.
Oh, geez. So everyone's already getting in line for this. Everyone's early. What's it with hockey players and being early for their interviews? I thought it was supposed to be the other way.
Some of us know how to run a computer and some don't.
Fair enough. The prep work, hey?
That's the one.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you've been a longtime supporter here, Brian. What brings you to want to do these events across Canada? Obviously, giving back's important, but what's the big idea for you to be able to do all these events that you actually commit yourself to?
Well, first and foremost, we're all having fun, and that's what it's all about. I think we're a group of guys that want to make sure that the people that have paid the monies to participate, we want to make sure that they enjoy that 1 or 2 days, however long it may be, and we feel as though a large part of that is our responsibility, and and we want to make hockey synonymous to fun, with raising good money, monies that will be used properly in the right ways, and make us feel awful proud and good as well.
Giving back certainly does that. There's no doubt about it. Now, it sounds like it runs in your family. You were just telling me before we got on air here that your 85-year-old mom is helping out at the food bank in Saskatoon. Is that correct?
I didn't tell you were allowed to say her age. I told you that she was working at the food bank. You're in big trouble now, my friend.
Oh my! I'll take responsibility about that.
People are thinking that she's 65. Now you've let the cat out of the bag. You're in big trouble.
We can cut that out.
Yes.
We'll get a little 6 in there, and I'll re-record that on the other side for you.
Mom and Dad have both always been just hardworking Saskatchewan folk, and I come by it quite honestly when I bring those two into the conversation, and just always been there to help out. It doesn't matter what, who, when, why. They've just always been there to help out. So I guess I'm not that much indifferent than my folks, yet at the same time they're pretty special people.
It's pretty cool that you that generationally is that your family's giving back, and it's the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but that's pretty cool that it's that it's your parents and yourself, right? So I know it goes a long way in our community, especially.
Well, that's the one thing about being raised in Saskatchewan. It really is that community feeling. Everybody, I mean, it takes a community or a village to raise a kid, and it certainly did with myself and a few of my buddies. You'll realize it took more than your parents to raise us. We were out and about. I mean, this was pre-cell phone days. If the hockey rink was open, we were usually there, to be honest with you. So lots of fun that way, and lots of great memories growing up in Saskatchewan.
Nice. Now, we talk about Hockey Helps the Homeless and doing good and giving back. And you just sort of mentioned it with, it's like the Saskatchewan mentality of helping each other and all that. As we move forward, how important is it to remind the next generation of the importance of helping out with not just community, but like mankind as a whole? Because I feel there's a lot of people out there who life gets hard, and if you went out and just helped other people and did good things like Hockey Helps the Homeless, it helps everybody. And I'm hoping we can make sure that the next generation and the one after understand the importance of that. Is there anything you'd like to sort of pass down to the kids to remind them why we do these things and how important they are?
Well, for instance, the Canadian Hockey League, they take those young kids every year, all the leaders from the teams out west anyway, and take them down take them into Vancouver and show them what a couple of those roughhousing streets are like. And it's quite an eye opener. And they bring back those messages for their teammates. I mean, this isn't falling on deaf ears, and you don't have to go to Vancouver today to see the homeless. I mean, walk down town in any city in Canada right now, and you're going to see a lot of homeless. I guess that's the saddest part, excuse me, of witnessing this firsthand. But homeless isn't just for the poor, and isn't just this is a whole mental health thing. This is there's more. The issues are deeper than we really even know. We don't have far to go for looking at an ex-pro hockey player and Joe Murphy out on the streets in Ontario. I mean, this is a real pandemic in our society today, and not sure if it's the drugs, the alcohol, or what's bringing this on, but we're going to need a strong community to get through this. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely agree. And taking a look at the game itself, and I've always wondered this with these charity events, because you hear about a lot of athletes, especially pro athletes, that have that switch, that once you're in warrior mode, you go out and you go hard. And then sort of as the career winds down and you're sort of, I don't want to use the term soft because that's a horrible term to use with hockey, but you become gentler in your ways. When you get back out on that ice and you're playing with jabronis like us who can't catch a pass, does that fire ever sort of fire up a bit? Do you ever get a little too into it when you're out there on the ice?
LMAO. I mean, laugh my ass off. That's what I'm there for. I love it. I love the guys who are competitive, and you got to bring them down a few notches
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, you're already here.
Charity.
That makes you a winner. You know, you're already a winner." And then I get on the bench. Hey, screw it. We got to win. You know, we're down 2. We got to win this thing. And it's like, hey, buddy, I'll tell you what. Put your stick down. Go hard to the net. And if I get a chance, I'll try and bang it in off your head.
That's
You
the
know?
move. I love that
Like,
one. That
so-
was my go-to move. Just sit out front, sit in the dumpster zone, and let him just bank him off me. It's about the only skill I have.
So the reality is still there. You put those skates on, exactly as you said. Some guys can turn it off, some guys can turn it on, and some guys just don't have a switch. So it's up to us to make sure that the team's there, that we're all having fun. Everybody goes home with their teeth, their eyeballs, so they can go to work on Monday. Let's continue to enjoy this event for what it was meant to be, and that's the fundraiser. And really, at the end of the day, give yourself a pat on the back as soon as you sign up, because you're already a hero.
You said it very well there. With rec hockey for years and years, that was sort of the go-to line. Whenever guys
Saskatchewan Stanley Cup every night.
There it is.
Right.
And
I
you
mean,
know
why?
all about those guys. You know all about the guys that are out there still playing in like the D League. Like you got scouts in the stands, and whenever
I'm in bed for 3 hours before their game starts, and they're ready to scrap at midnight. Like, hang on a second here.
And my go-to always with that was, hey guys, like exactly what you said. We all have to go to work tomorrow. This is a rec game. Like, chill out. And you have to remind guys, even in D League, that hey, this isn't the pros. Like, we're here to just have fun. We all have families to get to.
Yeah, you bet. Well, that's and it's real interesting. But that's the game of hockey, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a great chance to witness it the other day, right?
Oh,
I mean, you look at that intensity, and I wish Kachuk would have grabbed somebody who at least had one fight before. I mean, tell me about, picking your spot.
Selective grabs, yeah.
Anyway, I'm hoping that this morning it'll be Marchand standing beside him, and Marchand says, "Welcome to Boston." And away they get at it again, but I have a feeling Kachuk's not going to play, so he'll just have to grab somebody else. But wasn't that just that's the epitome of our game and what it means to us, what it means to the Americans now, blah, blah, blah. It's just great.
For sure.
Absolutely.
We all have a tough time actually turning that off. At least I do. I love the good work in the corner, and let's go at it, right?
Yeah.
So, no, this is awesome.
But that's in the corner of the office, Bumford. You're not supposed to be doing that in the corner of the office, for God's sake.
Easy.
That's awesome. Any other?
Well, we just wanted to thank you just for coming on to be able to give back to our community in Saskatoon and be able to give us some more social media content for obviously the beneficiaries, the Saskatoon Food Bank and Friendship or Food Bank and Learning Center, the Friendship Inn, and then the YWCA. So, Brian, thanks again for continuing to be a part of our event and also just giving back to the community and obviously bringing a good time with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen without you cats. So keep it up.
Well, thanks,
Hell yeah,
Brian.
brother.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
Well, you have a great day. Stay warm out there, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Cheers, man. Keep building that fence.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Talk to you.
All right. Have a good day. Bye.
There you go. NHL legend, the great Brian Scrudland, in the house as we continue to get ready for the big day tomorrow with our friends at Hockey Helps the Homeless, raising money, lots of money that will stay in this city of ours and go to our brothers and sisters in this beautiful city we love so much. Friendship Inn, YWCA, and Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center, the beneficiaries of all this money raised, as it will come to a conclusion tomorrow. So excited for that. The draft going on tonight at the Canadian Brewhouse. I'm stuck here doing a bunch of work, so I will not be there with the Bamford Bros and everyone else on the team. We'll be trying to get us a real hot pick in the draft, as whoever raises the most money gets the first pick and so on and so forth. And that's your NHL guy that you get to play with. It's a lot of fun. If you ever have an organization or a charity or an idea, or if you just want to come in here and check out the facility, you want to start a Twitch stream, we got a Twitch stream going on, we got a second set, we got an audio booth where we are recording books, our first ever audio book, right here recorded. You Can't Stop Love with the great John Fast. If you got a book you want to get recorded, or maybe some audio vocals you want done for your band, or anything else, it's all here for you, okay? State-of-the-art stuff going on in the Tooth Booth, thanks to our friends over at Dr. Hausman and Associates, the Big Tooth on 2nd Ave. All you got to do, I'm going to try to pull this one up here. I'm getting good. We even got a theme song. Send us an email at contact@dufferinav.com. That is the email. This is the theme song. Uh-oh, it won't get connected on me. Oh, no. I'm not going to be able to pull it down. It's got to reset it. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. Oh, yeah, look at that. We're really learning these angles. Get out of here, email. Man, that looks so cool. So, yeah, let us know. Get in touch. You need to do some advertising? We are the voice of Saskatoon. We are the only people, as far as we know, in this beautiful city of ours that have the proof of the reach that we have. We continue to grow. Our numbers are through the roof. When people speak around here, our city hears. That includes you and your business. So let us know. Get in touch, and we will make some magic happen together. We also got a website. You know, the info right there, dufferinav.com. LB, how we looking now, buddy? Ready to go? All right, let's see what we got going next. What a fun show so far. Take it away. Our quest to bring music back to Broadway continues with our friends over at Bloom Entertainment and 3 Hall, and we have another man in the house right now. Tell us who you are, who you're with, and what's going on, my friend.
Sure. My name is Nicholas McCormick. I play with Christopher and the Saints. We are a folk rock quartet of musicians that are going to be playing at 3 Hall on Saturday night from about 8 till I think the doors open at 7. I think we start at 8. Or no, there's an opening out called Sharp Tail playing, and
Nice.
they'll play probably about an hour, and then we'll play from about 9 till 11 or so ourselves, or we give or take. We'll figure out as the night.
Do they let you go longer if you want to?
I think so. I
Good.
mean, they always seem to have a jam every open stage, so they're kind of a pretty chill group of folks over there.
It's a great party. And again, I didn't even know this. The Bloom Loft. That's what they're calling it now, which I really appreciate. So over at 3 Hall upstairs in the Bloom Loft, it's going down. And man, like these shows, I've talked to a bunch of bands that have gone in there and played, and it really feels like the momentum is building. Hey, like this is turning into something where bands can come in and do their thing and grow from it.
It really does feel that way, you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, we played one open stage a few weeks ago, but I can let you know who was in the band if you want to.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, promote Ben. We're here to promote you and everything about you, for sure.
So I play bass myself with Christopher and the Saints, and Christopher James Vassar is kind of the primary songwriter, and he plays guitar and vocals. And actually, the other guitar player, Peter Aboni, plays the lead guitar, and him and I do some trade-offs, some background vocals at times.
Nice.
And then now we have a fourth member that just joined us, Wayne Cullen, whose name people might know if they recognize the band The Dudes from about the early 70s.
Sounds a little familiar, yeah.
Yeah, like they had a hit Saturday night, and we'll know Angels, I think, and he's been playing for I think 50, 60 years, you know, 50 years on drums.
Got some reps in, hey?
Oh yeah, and that Dude's band was on, I think, Columbia. They released maybe.
Yeah, the name sounds really familiar because we say dude all the time now, so it's like it fits right in.
Yeah, and this album I think came out, you know, almost exactly just over 50 years ago, and
crazy.
So we got a dude with lots of experience.
That's it. And with that, like I talk a little bit as well whenever we sit down with bands that are going to be playing at 3 Hall. We talk about open mics and the importance of open mic nights and jams and how those events sort of continue to help grow as well the scene of music in this city, because you go there, you get your reps in and you network, and then all of a sudden a couple weeks you got a band, and then all of a sudden you're playing shows. And just getting your reps in and getting out there and perfecting your art. The importance of those things, and we know the importance of them because we had that time where we didn't have any of it. So to see it coming back like that, maybe talk a little bit about how important open mics are when you're trying to bring music back after going through a little lull there like we all did.
Well, I think it's a great place to experiment.
Yes.
And kind of find your voice. You know, I mean, any live playing is about finding your voice. I mean, I think a good example is we have about 3 or 4 new songs that we're working on. We're hoping to go up north in the end of April and do some recordings.
Nice.
And so we're going to kind of road test some of these songs like on Saturday night, excuse me. And so like it won't be a typical Christopher and the Saints show. We'll be adding some new songs. We've got a few awesome covers in there. I won't give that away.
Don't spoil, no spoilers like the kids say.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just, it all makes me so happy because we had a real tough time for a long time around here going out and enjoying live music. And to see guys like Solon Kinger with Bloom Entertainment and our friends at Three Hall every week going out there and doing stuff like this and doing these shows and really bringing music back. I'm so proud of the boys. Anywhere we can go to find more Christopher and the Saints stuff? You got any websites or any of that stuff?
Yeah, we're pretty much on all the socials. Instagram. We have a Christopher and the Saints, I think .com. We'll link you to like our Facebook, our
Perfect.
Instagram, or our audio, like and all over the Spotify, Apple Music. Like those. We've got lots of streams available. I think we're even on Bandcamp too, because we did release a Reyes EP.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That was last fall, and that was about 4 recordings that we did through Reyes.
Yeah, we were actually talking to a bunch of people over there. A couple of our kids here that work at the studio actually graduated from Reyes, so they're always talking about those projects. And like, how awesome is that? Hey, you go in there and these guys just do all this stuff for you.
It's an amazing experience. I really speak highly of that program, and we actually have another session booked on the 28th to do a new song. And so I know Christopher's done about 4, 5, 6 songs on his own as solo, and now we're doing some as the band, and it's a really awesome experience. Like, they now booked the full day for a band, so it's like from 9 till 3, and it's like,
and you're just going.
We go hard. We sometimes live off the floor, sometimes like just laying tracks over tracks, and
love that.
It's an awesome opportunity. So I really think that's a kind of awesome connection for bands. Like I
Absolutely, it's a great crossover. Hey,
really is.
And everyone gets their reps in, and everyone learns, and it keeps getting better. Pump, man.
So I mean, I think if you like kind of like folk rock, you like a little bit of Pink Floyd, a little bit of like country music. I mean, we kind of have a bit of eclectic sound to us, but that's what sometimes the best music has, that kind of.
Well, that's what you want. I say it all the time. Don't ever put yourself in a box. Once you put yourself in a box, you have nowhere to grow.
I totally agree with that.
I'm with you. This is great, man. All right, this Saturday, check it out. 3 Hall. It's going down, and it's going to be fantastic, as it always is. Who's opening again? Sharptail? Sharptail with Christopher and the Saints live at the Bloom Loft. Make sure you get out and support local. It's what we do, and we love this so much, dude. Thank you for giving us a couple minutes. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, man.
Till next time.
Sounds good.
Man, I love that dude. All the love in the world again to my buddy Nicholas with Christopher and the Saints. With that 3 Hall agreement that we have, I guess the business that we do together, promoting. Met so many incredible people, and Nicholas, the latest one. Be sure to check out that live music going on this Saturday in the Bloom Loft. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, to Nicholas, you are the best. We got a mega cam here, so I'm going to show the beret for you. Can you show the beret that we got from head to tail? Can you do it? No. Okay, well, with that in mind, we got one more previously recorded segment to go. Let's get to it, LB. Welcome back to another edition of Hockey Helps the Homeless. My name is Gary. I'm here with my buddy Ryan, and we have another guest. 18 seasons in the show, a Stanley Cup to show for it, and a lot of fun. The great Brad May in the house. How you doing there, Brad?
I'm doing fantastic. It's snowy, cold. I'm sick and tired of winter. I'm sure you guys are too, but playoff hockey, obviously we got the Four Nations Cup pretty jacked up for today's match, but it was cool to see the fights the other night.
That's what Brian was saying too.
Yeah.
The passion out there, hey, the tenacity.
Sets the tone of the game.
You know what? Yeah, and everybody thought that maybe these guys would mail it in and just show up and play, more of like a scrimmage style. Obviously, that's not the case. These players want to be the best in the world. They want to be remembered as that. And I love the Tkachuk brothers. Pretty amazing that they did it together, and for the Americans, and they were able to beat Canada in Montreal. So today's a big day. Canada needs a win, and you know what? I'm obviously cheering for Canada, but they got to play better. They weren't good enough the other night.
Yeah, I hear you. So when we bring it home here a little more locally with Hockey Helps the Homeless and these charitable events that go on, can you maybe talk a little bit about the importance of giving back and the importance of helping others as you've had this incredible career and you're doing your new things? Like, do you feel as much of that passion and the love when you do each of these events and just help out charitably? Because it means so much to so many people, and we just like the whole point of this show is to get the word out about not only why you do it, but how it impacts society as a whole. You want to talk on that for a little bit?
Yeah, I love it. Number one, I love doing it. I love being a part of something greater than myself. Being part of an organization or organizations, plural, to actually go out in the communities that are in need of, you know, obviously much needed money and funding, but the awareness is as a bigger part of that as anything. The game of hockey is amazing. It has the ability to raise a lot of money for specific charities. Obviously, hockey helps the homeless is near and dear to my heart, and the reason why. I was asked to do this when I first retired. I was asked to play in a tournament. It was probably the first time I was on the ice, or one of them after my career, and it was about raising money here in Toronto for Hockey Helps the Homeless. And listen, I have a house. I live with heat. I can feed myself, my family, and I'm awfully blessed to do so. And there's a lot of individuals, families that can't do that. And it takes a village to raise a child, let alone adults that are homeless. We need to do this. We need to do a better part. Our government needs to step up and do a better job, much better job. They've been anemic for way too long on the homeless crisis. And it's taken individuals that love the game of hockey and this organization to go around the country, or excuse me, across the country, and raise millions of dollars, for people that need it, for their, services. And it's not just about, putting a roof over someone's head. It's about teaching them life skills so that they can do it themselves going forward. And these programs in different houses, different organizations in each city that Hockey Helps the Homeless plays in does a great job raising funds, but then obviously supporting their community. But the sad part is it's just growing. That number of homeless individuals is growing, not shrinking. And there's got to be probably a big think tank above the hockey tournament nationwide to actually try to crack this epidemic. And it's brutal, right? I mean, I can't imagine. I won't go outside today. It's too cold and snowy. What happens to the people, the men and women that are, the only way they can survive is to hole up on a sewer grate that's got heat coming out from the bottom, or whatever it is. Awfully tragic and sad. And the game of hockey can make a difference, and I'm part of that. That I'm a cog in that wheel, along with hundreds and hundreds of other players, and obviously great people in their communities that have done well and are willing to part with their money to support such a great cause.
Yeah, minus 49 today, by the way, here in Saskatoon. Minus 49.
Yeah, so if I'm in Saskatoon, I'm not going outside.
Yeah,
there's not a chance, right?
Absolutely.
But could you imagine not having, like, we're talking about being inside, not going outside? How about that homeless person that doesn't have that option? Scary.
100%. You brought up a lot of great things, Brad, there, is especially there's a lot of insecurities around in any city across Canada right now, right? So, to be able to do these kind of things is that I do think it's, like we said before, how Canadian is it to affiliate hockey and to give back to, the homeless sector, but also, like you said, is it's places that are actually, helping people develop so they can take care of themselves in certain aspects and be able to support the frontline workers. So we really appreciate that, Brad.
Yeah, one of the sayings that I've always liked is you can feed a man a fish and he eats for a day, but if you teach a man how to fish, or woman how to fish, they can eat for a life, right? So it's probably most important to get these individuals into a scenario or situation where they can learn how to cope and take care of themselves. Of course, mental health plays a part in all of this, and as neighbors or members of a community, when we see somebody in distress, instead of driving past them and thinking about every mistake they made and how they got there, how about stop and maybe have a conversation and humanize the situation? Now, not everyone is gonna, or every one of these individuals are gonna be receptive of that, so you got to be careful too. But no, it takes the community to take care of one another, and that's where I think Hockey Helps the Homeless has really pitted themselves. They've done a great job across the country raising awareness, But again, I don't know, would it be 10% of the community would know that this event's taking place? Probably less than. It's awfully difficult to get that word out to the masses, and that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this.
That's exactly why we were putting together the podcast. Is it's it's a great way for we can give it to sponsors, and we can give it out to all their participants as well, so they can kind of get, like I was saying before, is that some of those stories don't get told until we make it to the event, right? So we actually set up interviews with the beneficiaries, and to see, and I actually learned a lot about all the different sources. And when we talk about food bank and learning center, it's like there's so many different programs that are a part of these different organizations that are actually giving back, and not just with giving them food, but actually providing them with the right tools and resources to better their lives.
The easy part, and to go down this path, you can give this homeless individual money, and he may go and spend that money on food. But what would matter most when it's 49 degrees below zero? Are you really, like, you're maybe hungry, but what's more pressing, and how are you going to cope and get through that day? That jacket, that hat, the set of mittens that someone would gift to that person, that's beautiful. But chances are that stuff's getting repurposed and sold for, whatever it takes to actually cope through that day, or a day like today. So it's not just as easy as giving them food and water to survive. It's so much more than that. And then it's the whole dehumanizing, aspect of it, where we walk past these people on a daily basis in urban centers with maybe a little shade of, condescension, where, why is that person there? Work like me, get off your ass and do something. Well, it's not that simple. And it's really complex, and you're talking, it goes so deep to, domestic abuse, how these people have been raised. There's so many scenarios, and then of course mental health and drug addiction that comes into it. But mental health and drug addiction is on the side of, we have to take care of our own. And I think, again, Hockey Helps Homeless does a fantastic job with that, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm just a small part of it, but it takes thousands of us across the country to do this. I think we've raised close to $40 million over the lifespan of the program. And you know what? That could be, you could do that tenfold, and the problem seems to be growing. And that's where I say our government has to step up, whether it's municipal, city, and federal and provincial governments. You've done a terrible job. You got to do better. We pay for it in our taxes. Spend our money wisely. Take care of these people. There's more to be done.
I agree. There's more to be done, and like you're saying, is that each one of us doing our small part, is it does make a difference, even though is that it might be a drop in the bucket. It all adds up at the end of the day, right? But you're right, is that there's a ton of people that need a lot more support and help than what's being given right now. So hopefully we can, make this our best year yet, and be able to give as much back to the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center, the YWCA, and then also the Friendship Inn here in Saskatoon. So, Brad, this is I really appreciate, you obviously have a real passion about what's happening in your communities across Canada. So we want to thank you for spending your time and voicing your opinion on what's happening. We're looking forward to to having you. It's going to be, we're just under a month away, and I know I got to get my skates on so I can get in the corner with you a little bit, but
got to get mine sharpened.
Hey, don't worry about
that.
I made my living in the corners. I float around. I don't play a position. So the best part about being a retired hockey player is I don't have to adhere to a coach's program, and you just do what you do. But truly, it's a great game of fellowship. You have a great time together. If you're looking to be a part of this, talking to the people possibly watching, it's fantastic. You get to meet great leaders in Saskatoon, great people that are making a difference. And I'd encourage everyone to get on board and be a part of something greater than yourself. When you go to sleep at night, you know that you in your small part, you're able to make a slight difference. You'll hear a couple stories from a few homeless individuals. that actually have, recovered and been able to get out on the other side. They'll tell their stories, and they're compelling. And most cases, there's not a dry eye in the room when you're hearing these stories, because you can't believe that somebody was taken that deep, that far down that road of despair. And listen, we're lucky people. We're talking on our devices, social media. I'm in Toronto right now. You guys are in Saskatoon, and we're going to have a great day, and we're going to watch the hockey games ahead of us, and we're going to enjoy today. There's a lot of people that have no idea that, these events are happening, and they're just trying to get by. And that's a terrible place. And I want to be a part of this. I want to eradicate this together, and it takes everyone. And I guess my last thing is, of all the great people in Saskatoon that are going to be part of it, I think thank you. I think it's great. I'm not part of your community, but for a day I will be. And I'm really excited about that. But our politicians have to get off their rumps and start making a difference, because the programs that they've enacted up to this point, I mean, as good as they are, they're not good enough, and we got to do more.
Well, it all comes around with support. So thanks for supporting, our foundation and the beneficiaries that we're giving back to. And once again, we're going to be, ecstatic to have you back again, Brad. You're always a class act around Saskatoon. I'm sure everywhere. But thanks again for taking your time out of today for Hockey Helps the Homeless.
Well, yeah, my parting shot, or my parting words to the Saskatoon is, I love Saskatoon. I really love Saskatoon. In 1990 Christmas, 1991 World Junior Championships, when they awarded the gold medal to Team Canada, I was part of that team. We were in Saskatoon for 3 weeks through that process, and one of the greatest days, or moments in my life, playing and representing my country. And it all happened in Saskatoon. And every time I get invited to Saskatoon, I have to come, because it's a part of who I am and who I think I am and what it's made of me. And it started in Saskatoon, and I love it there. I really do, and it brings back great memories. But there's a lot to do, and we can do it together. And thank you for having me today.
Right on.
Yeah, thanks again, Brad.
Thank you so much, Brad. We really appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
I remember that. It was World Juniors. My late godfather, Don McKinley, best godfather in the world. Miss him so much. Him and the McKinleys and our family, we went there. Me, Tom, and Neeler, and my brothers, and my dad, and Don. Had the yellow creases still for those World Juniors. Eric Lindros was the captain. Oh, it was so fun. I totally remember that. Brad May was there as well. Woo! Got through another one. Boy, oh boy, what a show. Thank you to LB for getting us started and making sure we stayed on the rails here throughout the show. Again, big thank you to our friends over at Head to Tail Spa over in Sutherland. They got Margaret looking so incredibly beautiful, and they got her back in time for the Maggie Cam, which was the most important thing. So if any of our friends there are watching, thank you again. You guys did a fantastic job. Brian Screwlin, along with Matthew Barnaby, and my man Nicholas from Christopher and the Saints, playing tomorrow night, or Saturday night, the Bloom Loft over at 3 Hall. Be sure to check them out. Nicholas, you are a dude, man. I love you so much. That was fantastic. CTV's Matt Young, so good. Oh, that was awesome. Got some more birthday anniversaries to celebrate for video games, which is always awesome, and updated us on all the local sports stuff. Great show. Great show. Tomorrow, we'll be back. I'm not sure if I'll be here to start the show or not, as we have our third and final game for Hockey Helps the Homeless at 3 p.m., but I'm coming straight to the studio right after that game. So we'll see when I end up here. But we will have Clayton Croker, morning show host for 92.9 The Bull, also defending Family Feud champ. Yeah, if you watched last night, the Crokers took home 10 G's, and they're back tonight for another round of Family Feud. So all the luck to the Crokers there, and then he'll be with us tomorrow again to kick off the show at 4 p.m. Looking very forward to hear what the whole Family Feud process is like. It's very cool, very, very exciting. So we will have that for you, and we'll also have a Friday Fun Table, which will be absolutely fantastic as well. So there you go. I have to get to bed early, apparently. Man, our first game is 9 o'clock tomorrow. 9. Normally I go to bed around that time, being a Nighthawk. So I got to bring my hockey equipment in and dry it off. No, it is dry. It hasn't been used in like 2 years, but I got to warm it all up. So Tomorrow, Hockey Helps the Homeless Day. It's going to be fantastic. Remember, donation link in the descriptions. Karma's very real. Do good things. It'll happen to you. I promise you. Have a great rest of your night.